Welcome to the 2025 Preseason Albion Women's Fans Forum. We're coming to you live from the American Express Community Stadium on BBC Radio Sussex and on the club's YouTube channel. There's plenty to discuss this evening, I think so. So I hope you've got plenty of questions, and thanks ever so much for coming. First, though, I want you to give a very warm welcome to our panel this evening. Managing Director of Women's Football at the club, Zoe Johnson. The man who's looking to build on his first excellent season in the WSL, Seagulls head coach Dario Vidosic. And I'm delighted to say that this season we have the new Albion captain, Maisie Symonds. Well, that's not a bad welcome, is it, Maisie? There you go. Yeah, even better. But good evening, everybody. Not everyone gets the opportunity to ask questions, but they do at this very, very special football club. So make sure that you raise your hand. Izzy is on hand to come around with the mic. And obviously, if you can and are able to do so, if you just stand when you ask your question. If it's not obvious who your question's for, then do just let us know as well. First of all, though, I just want to hand over to Dario to maybe just say a few words ahead of the new season and welcome everybody tonight, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much. Look, firstly, I think on behalf of Zoe and Maisie, we'd like to say thank you to everyone for, firstly, last season, for your support, being with us for every home game, travelling to away games. We felt the support, and that was a big part of our success as well. And then obviously tonight, for, again, giving up your evening to come in, and I hope ask us some good questions and some difficult ones. So we'll try to answer everything as openly and honestly as we can, because we know that our fans are a big part of what we're doing and our success, and we want to keep growing the fan base. We love the support. You know, towards the end of the season, the atmosphere that was created was just unbelievable. So the good thing is that we know now with tonight that round one is very close, and we're back at home. So looking forward to tonight and looking forward to seeing everyone there on Sunday for what should be a great game.
Absolutely. We'll wish everybody all the best of luck. But this is about questions, so get your hands in the air. As I say, Izzy is here to ask. I'm sure there's a few topics that we can discuss. There's one just over there. Izzy, if you want to just head back to the gentleman with his arm raised there and get our first question of the night. I'm sure it'll be a good one.
First of all, can I just say on behalf of everybody that's here tonight, congratulations on last season. It was absolutely fantastic. Well, 2 years ago, Zoe, you came to Burwash. Do you remember?
I absolutely do.
And we spoke about Paul Barber's Patch, your new football stadium. Can you please update us on the situation with your new ground?
Of course I can, yeah. I know that was going to be one of the first questions that I was faced with today. I think everyone's really excited with wanting to know exactly where the progress is, and I know Paul spoke about it recently at a fans forum as well, and the club are really excited, and we're desperate to be able to make a big formal announcement and let you all know exactly where the stadium's going to be, exactly how the stadium's going to look. That is imminent, and we're really hopeful that we'll be able to give some more information on that soon. But I think the biggest thing is that we're really excited. We're really thankful to both Tony and the board for their backing of doing this. But I think we're in a really privileged position. There's not many women's team in the country, or let alone the world, that will be in this position where they're soon going to be able to announce a bespoke women's stadium. So I think, yeah, we're really privileged. I'm sorry I'm not able to say exactly where it's going to be, although I know there's sort of a lot of speculation around at the moment. But like I said, that it is imminent, and I think when it comes, it's going to be a really exciting time. And I know both Dario and the players they're really excited as well, to Dario to manage in there, but also to the players wanting to play in there. And I'm really hopeful that you'll be hearing some news on that soon.
So it's obviously a really ambitious project, so I imagine there's a lot going on. It's difficult if you can't share stuff, but it's not just quite as simple as saying, here we go, is it? I imagine there's a bit like the sort of duck on the water scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of people at the football club that have been working tirelessly on this a long time before it even become known to the fans that there was going to be this new women's stadium. It's been being worked on behind the scenes for a long period of time. So I think it's not just we're not announcing it because we don't want to announce it and we don't want to tell you. There's so many different parts that are being played through at the moment, and working with a lot of third-party people as well. So I think that's the first thing I think is that, please don't think there's not a lot of work going into it, because there absolutely is, and I'm sure it'll be with you very soon.
With a project like that, I imagine there's a lot of expectation. What do you hope that it will do for women's football at this football club?
Yeah, I think firstly it gives somewhere for us to really build on the fan base that we've already had. I think to have so many of you here this evening, it's an absolute honour for us to sit in front of you and answer some questions, and I think you can see how much the fan base has grown, and I think seeing how many fans last season travelled to the away games was an absolute credit to everybody that did that, but also come to Crawley. And I think what the stadium does do is it helps build on the fan base. It brings football back to the city of Brighton and Hove, which is something that we're really, really keen to do. And then when you put it to all the young players coming through, to be able to, some of our academy players, it's going to be their first time when they come to play in the stadium. It's going to be all they know is to have their own purpose-built stadium, and it just to be the home of Brighton and Hove Albion women, and that's exactly the way that the game should be going, and we're really thankful that we're going to be one of the first in Europe to do that. So I think for everyone, for not only the senior staff at the club that are really excited about it, it's somewhere for the fan base to be able to really call their home, but also for the players. And I think the players coming through should be even more so excited about it, because some of them are going to be making their debuts in that stadium, and that's something that we should be really proud of.
We'll maybe get Maisie's thoughts on that in a second, but Dario, I know your focus is on the here and now, but obviously how do you feel about the projects and what it can do for the club that obviously you're managing that group of individuals at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's obviously very exciting to be able to have our own stadium. I think we'd be the only team in the country, potentially maybe in the world, to have our own women's dedicated stadium. So look, it's something that we're looking forward to. I know Maisie were talking about it before, we really enjoy also at Crawley. I think it's been a great stadium for us. We've had a good success last season, a good atmosphere building. So we sort of have the mantra of anyone, anywhere, anytime. So, but we would love for that to be also in our own stadium, and we're looking forward to that in the future.
Maisie, as a current player, I mean, is it about inspiring the players of the future as well as just obviously you being excited about it now, but obviously, as Zoe was saying, the next generation as well?
Yeah, well, I quite like Crawley, to be honest.
Cancel the plans.
Yeah, scrap it.
No, of course, I have a lot of lovely memories at Crawley, so we've had a lot of ups and downs there over the years, so I've got a real soft spot in my heart for Crawley, but it's so exciting to hear the conversations going on around the club, and the club have my full trust, and I know that they're the right people to do the job, things that maybe we don't understand and don't need to understand, but I'm sure this stadium's going to be perfect for us, and I'm so excited for that to come.
I mean, the players must feel at home at the hub now in Lancing. I imagine you got used to that. At one stage it was shiny and new. Do you see this as the next sort of piece in the puzzle?
Yeah, I mean, I know a few years ago we was training around the corner at the university, and then waiting for the training ground to be built, and as much as you wanted it to be done there and then, once it was done, it was so exciting, and it's perfect, and it's perfect for us now. So although we want the stadium and we want you all to be in the stadium, and it's going to be perfect for all of us, it's something that takes time, and I guess we all will just have to wait it out for now, but it'll be perfect once we get there for sure.
I mean, in terms of the time span, Zoe, I know you can't expound on it too much, but are we talking, is it short, mid, long term? How do you feel about, obviously you've got expectant fans hoping to have a little bit of news, but do these sort of projects actually, once they've been agreed, from that point on to actually being done, is that a long period or not?
Yeah, I think, look, it's not, the stadium's not going to be just appear tomorrow for sure, but I think the delay in the announcement at the moment is not due, that doesn't mean that's going to delay the stadium being built by any stretch at all. I think the timescales for us have always been that we hope to have it up in 2 to 3 seasons, and that's still the same, regardless of an announcement tomorrow or in 3 months' time. We plan for that to be very much, the stadium will be 2 to 3 years, and that's always been the timescale, and it still remains the timescale for it.
Every club is individual, but when you've been around and you've seen whether it, I don't know, I know Manchester City have something where the academy is based as well. do you look around? Has everyone been sort of looking at best practice everywhere else and then trying to bring it all into this sort of individual club as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more you go to other stadiums now, I think especially because we know the women's stadium here is imminent, I think you're naturally looking at other places and you're thinking, oh, we'd quite like that in our stadium, and you quite like this. And we come to the stadium here. I came for the men's first game, and you're looking at some of the new additions to even the stadium here, and you're thinking, oh, that would be lovely for the women's stadium. So I think naturally wherever you go now at this point, because it is around the corner, there's going to be a lot of good things that we're picking up elsewhere that we'll be able to bring to our stadium. And I think we're just really passionate about making sure that our female players have got somewhere that's fully equipped for female athletes, and that's hopefully what we'll be able to bring.
How different is that for women athletes, do you think? Is
Yeah.
a major consideration, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the main drivers for us wanting this, is to give them somewhere where they can perform to the best of their abilities. And I think there is differences, and there's differences. I think Maisie has alluded to. Obviously, the players do like Crawley for many reasons, but Crawley's not equipped necessarily for female athletes in a lot of other areas. And I think as the game continues to grow and the trajectory that we're on, I think it's about future-proofing that and making sure that when we do come to building that we take that into consideration.
So if there is one thing then, Maisie, when you go around other stadiums, you want it at yours, what would that be?
That's a good question.
What? Proper coffee? That's always useful.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Maisie's always after a nice coffee machine, I can assure you of that.
A nice coffee before the game, yeah.
But I mean, decent atmosphere to play in is always useful, isn't it? And as a coach, Dario, you'll be looking for that as well. But it is organic. It takes time, doesn't it? I mean, even this stadium has taken its time to build its own thing. And that comes from the players, but also from the fans as well.
Yeah, well, you can see, I think that's one of the reasons why I've really enjoyed Crawley, especially last season, because of the atmosphere that we built. And you can see that in our home form last year came on so much, as the support did, as the songs and everything came on. So that atmosphere comes naturally when we perform and bring the more fans in. So hopefully that's something that we'll build at our new stadium as well as we have at Crawley.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'm sure we've got lots of other questions. There may be some more about the stadium, but Izzy, if you want to just come down here. The lady in the front row has got a question.
Thank you. This is for Dario and Maisie. We've already mentioned about the atmosphere at Broadfield. I'm the idiot that brings the drum, and I've been working with the club to put together a samba band called Goals Allowed, and a few of the fans here are members of that. So my question is there a bad time to be chanting or making loads of noise? Because I went to the Euros and they wanted us to make loads of noise, like even when they were defending corners. So let us know, because there's a lot of debate that happens between us in the group chat.
Well, Dario, do you want to start with that one, and then Maisie can have a think about atmosphere and when's good? When do you want? Is it those difficult times as well as when you're playing well?
Look, for me...
all the time.
Yeah, all the time. But for me, on match day, I don't hear anything, if I'm completely honest. Like, I'm so involved in the game, I'm watching. So there's been stuff that's happened and I've had no idea that that's happened. So it's, but I think, thinking back as a player, you do love the noise, and sometimes I've been in atmospheres where you almost get lost in the noise a little bit when you really stop for that moment. And there is those pauses in a game where maybe as a manager you don't get them, but I think sometimes there has been, like even the Arsenal game from the most recent one, there were moments where you sort of stop and just appreciate the atmosphere, the game, and just everything. So for me, the more the better, and I'm sure Maisie will be echoing the same words.
Yes, exactly. Well, firstly, thank you for bringing your drum. I'm the exact same. The more noise, the better. I'm similar to Dario's. When I'm playing, maybe I don't notice it as much, but once it goes silent, maybe you do. So the more noise, the better for me, definitely.
And they probably want to drown out my voice as well.
Yeah.
With the drum.
Go behind Dario if you can.
Well, and good luck with the band as well. So we'll look forward to attending one of their gigs maybe at some point as well. Good stuff. Okay, celebrating a win, of course. Who else has got a question? Just there on the right-hand side. Izzy, you have to squeeze through there and try and get down to the gentleman there. Yeah, if you can stand up.
I just want to bring it back to the stadium, because I think there's a lot of appetite about the stadium. So a classic journalist, Johnny will like this. So how big is it going to be? And what would be like a good size that you would like to play in front of Dario and Maisie? I mean, would you like to have a big stadium with empty seats, or is it like more important to have a smaller stadium, but to be more huddled together? And yes, Zoe, what sort of ball figure is the club thinking about? Are you thinking 5,000, 10,000, and what colour will it be?
Well, I hope it's going to be blue and not red like Crawley. Yeah, the exact size is not something I'm able to share, but it's what I can say to you is it's going to be it will be at least 5 figures. So that's something that we are working towards as well. But yeah, I would like to think it's blue. It's going to be blue, not red.
Yeah, and in terms of size, Dario, Maisie, in terms of playing that, you want to, I suppose, feel like it's compact and everybody's full, and that can get the players feeding off that energy.
Yeah, it is. I think we want to try get the fans as close as possible. So I think that's one good thing about Crawley, where it feels like everyone's close. You can the atmosphere, you can hear it. So, for me, that would be, I think, ideal, and I'm sure that will be taken into context. So don't ask me about the stadium. I don't know anything about it at all. But it's, I think, regardless of the size, we just want to keep growing. We want to keep progressing our football. We want to be entertaining. We want people to want to give up their weekends or to come and watch us play. And then I think organically with that, and hopefully with performances and results, as we have last season, grown the fan base, that we continue to grow it. And then the atmosphere, that plays the other part. So, when you go in, you watch a good product, there's an atmosphere behind it. You want to go back. You want to be a part of it. So I think once we have it, I think then it gives us a good platform to really grow it, and then we can push the play in the Amex when we start to fill it out and sell it out.
Maisie, did you want to say anything on that?
I'm pretty similar to Dario. I would say that it's our responsibility to make you guys want to come to the games. So I don't know too much about the numbers and what is better for the atmosphere and everything like that, but if we can get you guys to cheer and enjoy the games, and like Dario said, want to give up your weekends and money to come and watch us play, then I think then we can start speaking about the other stuff, but our job is to perform on the pitch. So yeah.
Over the summer, obviously incredible success with the Euros. What did you make of that whole tournament and the crowds, the attendances, the whole tournament as well, not just obviously the performances?
Well, I went to the last Euros, and obviously that was 3 years ago now, and then I remember what came off the back of the win and how incredible that was. So watching the girls this week and having obviously Michelle there and being able to watch her, and every single time that she came on, you just felt like she was always going to score, Yeah, it was just, I felt like a massive fan, and obviously I got an opportunity to go away on camp, and it's just, like, it's so nice to watch the success of the women and hopefully have something to work to get it back into that squad.
Absolutely. How good is it to have Michelle back then, Dario?
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully she can score the same goal for us as well. Now, look, she's a young player, so one thing I've sort of said is without her, I don't think they win the tournament, without a doubt. But, I think we still have to remember she's still young, she's still learning, we still want to keep her feet firmly on the ground, and that she continues to be part of successful England team, successful Brighton team for this season, and that that they all have a chance to naturally progress. We still have a young squad. We're developing a lot. We're looking to work with them to improve them individually and also as a collective. So she's no different to Maisie and no different to any other player in the team. But naturally with what occurred throughout the summer, we just want to protect her as much as we can, let her enjoy her football, and we don't want to heap too much pressure on what is still a young girl.
Were you a little bit surprised that you were able to do that again for another season, or was it the fact that you felt that you could develop her, that she was at that point in her career that would actually be more beneficial than her staying at her parent club?
Well, look, Arsenal must trust us a lot. They sent us another one.
Yeah.
So we must be doing something good. So no, look, I think she enjoyed her last season. She got to learn a lot, played a style of football that she was happy to play with. So I think in regards to that, she said there was nowhere else she wanted to go after discussion. So I think that's a testament to the program, testament to the club, and also to the playing group that, we sort of want to try and create a culture where people want to walk through that front door. Because we train only for an hour and a half, sometimes I push it a little bit longer, but, a lot of the time we spend is, with those human interactions, trying to improve, in the lunchroom, after, in meetings, the girls, when they're together. So I think what they had was really, really special, and that also played a role in our success.
We haven't really asked you about the squad. Obviously, it's not just about one individual. Players have come, players have gone as well. How happy are you heading into the new season with the players you've got and the blend and the sort of strength that you have?
No, look, I'm happy. We're still, a few of the new signings are still recovering, so there'll be some a little bit longer than others. But I think we're in a good spot. We've had a really good pre-season where, playing some good football. We've adapted a little bit, so we'll be a little bit different this season, but still highly entertaining. And it's been a joy to work with them. So there's, like I said, a few more to come in. We'll see what the last few days as well brings in. No pressure, Zoe. And but yeah, we're really looking forward to round one. We want it to start where we're in a good place, and we want to go back home and play. Brilliant.
Okay, let's get some more questions. Lady, we've got two there. We'll try and get back to in the middle. Let's start over on the far side with the Albion shirt on.
It's a question for Maisie. Will you still be taking the knee? And if not, how can we help as fans to support the players around inclusivity?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure if we'll be taking the knee this weekend. Of course, we've just been playing pre-season fixtures so far, and usually it's a little bit less regular. It's a little bit looser. It's not as formal, and so far we haven't. I'm yet to hear if we will. I'm behind doing it or whatever the process will be. And I think in terms of you guys helping, it's similar with us. As soon as we hear something, as soon as we notice something, some type of behaviour we're not happy with, we just try to flag it straight away, try to get on top of it straight away, try to bring it up to the people who can really help. And if it comes to people in the stands, as soon as you flag it, then something can be done about it. So as far as I'm concerned, it should be no tolerance for anything like that.
Well said. I think there's just a lady just in there. Yeah.
Hi, so my question's for Dario and potentially Maisie if you want to answer. It's been widely publicised that the aim is top 4 in the Women's Super League. But obviously the top 4 last season have been the top 4 pretty much every season in recent memory. We did pretty well last year, a draw against Chelsea, draw against Man United, a win against Arsenal late in the season. What are the next steps to breaking down that wall of the top 4? And do you think it's possible this season, or do you think it's going to take a bit longer?
Good question. Look, what I've always said is I don't look at it. I know the club has the aim of top 4. Mine is to win. Mine is to be champion. We want to lift titles. We want to make history for the club. So you'll never hear me talk about the top 4. Because I think we sort of put a ceiling on ourselves a little bit, because if we're in it, we go, okay, we've done what we're sort of aiming to do. So for me, it's always, I go out every week, we prepare every week to win, how we can exploit the opponent, how we can play our football, all those things. Probably Maisie gets sick of me showing us stuff in here already. So, for me, it's always the aim and the mentality that we're trying to develop in the girls. It's almost that little bit of, that willingness that we want to not die for 3 points, but something like that. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we want to do. And, for me, as long as it's mathematically possible, we're always looking to be champions. We want to be champions. We want to, it doesn't matter where we go. I think we showed it last season. Didn't matter who came, where we went. We want to play our football. And then in the end, the results sometimes... You can walk off a field and scratch your head and go, how did we lose? And then other times you can go off and go, wow, how did we win that game? So it's important that we take care of what we need to do. And then if we do all the things correct, then we give ourselves a fantastic chance every week.
How much encouragement do you get from taking points off those top sides last season, Dario?
Look, I think it gives us a confidence that we can do it. So we talk about it that in the start, even before you step on the pitch, it can sometimes be easy to like look across you and feel like you're looking up at the opposition. And you know, for myself as well, the first experience when we went to Arsenal, when we played them at the Emirates, it's a different sort of feeling when you walk into that sort of stadium. And I think, you know, we're still in that moment where we're learning these things. So if we go back again to that Arsenal game, you know, we won 4-2. I was asked after the game how I felt. Crazily enough, I wasn't too happy. Even though we beat Arsenal 4-2. I think it was the first time in 7 or 8 games. So we even scored a goal, beat them. But then, like, when I reflected upon it, I started thinking, it's like, you know, 7 games we haven't been. So it's, again, we have to learn to not look at the time or the result, that we just continue to do what we were doing that got us into that place. So that's all that sort of learning that we're going through. And now we've got quite a young team. So it's learning these things to say, okay, we're 4-1 up against Arsenal, but we just keep playing. But I think it's a natural thing to go, wait a second, we're 4-1 up against Arsenal. Okay, let's protect this. And then, then through that, we get ourselves in situations. But, you know, for us, the aim this year is, we want to be the best in every single phase of the game. So we want to be the best defensive team. We want to be the best attacking team. We want to be comfortable in every single moment, because we know we'll make teams suffer. We know teams will make us suffer. But we want to be the best in every single moment. So that's what we're striving to. And we look forward to getting tested in round 1.
Dario, do you feel better equipped in your second season? Obviously, it was probably a bit new for you coming here last year. But now, obviously, those messages as well, you've had time, some players will remain, there's consistency there as well. How do you find it as a head coach? Do you feel, you know, more confident about getting your message across now maybe than when you first arrived?
Yeah, look, if I think back, I'd probably say now, like, from my growth as well, I feel like last year, I'm a lot better this season. So I'd always try to learn a lot. I have the privilege of, you know, having Fabian as well for support, who I can go and sometimes have a chat to. I know I don't want to bother him too much because I know he's quite busy. And he had a fantastic result on the weekend, which was fantastic to see. And it was great to be here. So it was a wonderful weekend of football. But, you know, I'm just trying to learn and just trying to get better just so I can help the girls, really. I think that's what it essentially is, being a coach. You want to help your players. So I try to put in as much time as possible, watch as much football as possible, and just try to give them the correct information that they can have success on a weekend. I think that's, for me, is the biggest joy, when they're all they're happy and they've played a game, and then the stuff that we practice and they learn that they can be successful applying that on a match day and inevitably win the game. And then, you know, when they're together, that's sort of what they have as a group is special. And if I can play a part in that to help them to be, you know, achieve their dreams, because I know they all have dreams and ambitions that they want to achieve. And, you know, we've got this one here very close to the Euro team, and it won't be very long until she's a household name in that England jersey. So, you know, that's the aim for every single player, that we just try to get everyone to become better, that they enjoy coming to work, and then, you know, that we can continue having the successes that we've been having.
Well, it's just after 7:30. You're listening to the Preseason Albion Women's Fans Forum live from the American Express Community Stadium. We've got less than half an hour now to get some more of your questions in. So keep your hands up, raised in the air, so we can see you there with the blue cap.
Hi. With the transfer window closing at 11 o'clock on Thursday, I'm just wondering, have you still got a big wish list? Is there going to be much business? And where are the gaps that you're hoping to fill? That's the first part of my question. And the second is, are you coming to watch the rugby match on Saturday, and will you be supporting England or Australia?
Good question, Moni. Good question.
Good
Which
question.
way round are you going to take that? Which one's first?
Yeah, both tough ones, to be fair. Look, I think, you know, with the club, and it's always, you're always looking, but you always want to bring in the right person. So we don't want to just bring in any player just to fill the squad with numbers. We want to bring in quality that can help the team. If we can do that, perfect. If not, we're quite happy with with the players that we got. So, the club's working hard. They've worked extremely hard throughout the summer and leading into the transfer window. Now it's always those sort of, I think, similar to the men's game where there's all sort of deals are done in those last few hours. So, I think we'll be there until the close, similar to last year. And only if the right person is available, right player is available, then we'll try and make our move. And yeah, to your second question. Can I sit on the fence for that one? Is that possible? Maybe a draw would be nice just to kick off the Rugby World Cup. So, look, it should be a great game. Two very good nations in regards to the rugby. So, it'll be a fantastic game to watch. I'll see if I can get there. I'll probably be too busy planning away for Sunday. But should be having a look at the pitch and seeing the poster up. It should shape up to be a fantastic weekend as well for the Women's World Cup.
Very diplomatic, Dario, very diplomatic. Zoe, what's it like in the transfer window? Obviously, transfer deadline day for the men yesterday. Is it as hectic? Do you expect to be? What's it like for you going through those last sort of 24, 48 hours when it comes to transfers?
Yeah, I think naturally it's you can never sort of prepare for what's going to come over the next sort of couple of days. You never know what sort of player may become available, and I think this is when naturally, no matter how many times how organised you are and how much we sort of pre-plan our recruitment, you always seem to find yourselves working in those last sort of couple of days. So yeah, we're hopeful that we'll be able to bring in another player before the window closes. But yeah, it's obviously something everyone knows how we do recruitment here at Brighton, and it's something that we've been planning and been prepared for a long time. But naturally, when there's movements across other clubs and other players do become available, you've always got to be ready as well. And I think one thing that's a real credit to this football club, and it's one thing that I've noticed since I've been here, is seeing yesterday at the club around how the club operates on the men's transfer deadline day. The same operation will be in place on Thursday, and you'll have the same people around. You've got Paul Mullin in the room tonight. Paul Mullin will be around. You'll have technical directors will be around, director of finance, head of legal. So I think that's what really sort of epitomises this football club, that you've got the real backing of the senior leaders of the club that actually put the same amount of focus and effort into the women's transfer deadline day as they do the men's, and I've seen that firsthand since I've been here, so we're really privileged for that.
Brilliant. Okay, more questions? There's one gentleman just there, and then work your way down. Izzy, that's brilliant.
Hi, looked like you had a great time in Spain. Good golf, by the way. And very nice to see that the Seagulls in Spain got a chance to see a friendly game. Why don't we?
Zoe, do you want to take that one? I know that they did go to one of the men's games as well. I don't know whether that's specific to them or... I mean, I think they are an official group, aren't they, of supporters across the Europe, but what in terms of going out there to watch the games?
No, I don't have a passport.
Why
don't we get to see the friendly games, or at least one of the friendly games?
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something that's probably become a little bit this summer. I've noticed that quite a few teams have probably the last game. It looks like quite a few teams have opened that up to fans. And I think that's been quite a new thing in the women's game. I think naturally you see, and I think we've had this from quite a lot of fans in the past, saying all the friendlies are behind closed doors, and that just seems to be the way that the women's game has been now for quite a long period. You're playing a lot of sort of behind closed door friendlies, and I think naturally fans want to see what the team's about. I think naturally Dario might want to hide it a little bit, so he's a little bit fresh for when we play Aston Villa on Sunday. But I think that's definitely I think the biggest thing for us is the more we can sort of grow our fan base, and we want the fans have got an appetite to want to come to one of our pre-season friendlies. That's something we can look at and review in the future. And I think if that is genuinely an appetite from the fans that they would really like to see a game before the season kicks off, I'm sure we can twist Dario's arm to allow that to happen. So that's something that we can definitely work with supporter services on, and we can work with the training ground if that's where we're going to play some of our friendlies and see whether we can put something on for sure.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, three or so down here, down the bottom. Do you want to? Sorry, did you have your hand up? God, higher. Go on, there you go. Brilliant.
Hi. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to the club, because walking into the shop now, the 1991 Roll of Honour for the women's players. As an ex-player, I cannot tell you what it means to have your name on that board in this particular stadium. So thank you for that, whoever sorted that. Secondly, we've built Fortress Broadfield. The fans and the team are coming together on that, and that came together with the Arsenal game. What we want to do as fans is take that to the Villa game, to every game that we have at the Broadfield, and grow and grow. So my question would be is, when we get the new stadium, will there be a loyalty scheme, or for those that have been to the Broadfield and supported throughout, will they get a priority on seating at the new stadium?
Yeah, I'll take that question. That's definitely something that's been discussed, and obviously I know like I said to you earlier, the stadium has been something that's been a lot of hard work going on in the background, and we knew that would be a real big question that would come from the fans and wanting to know when that's going to happen. I think absolutely there'll be a priority given. I think firstly to people that have been a season ticket already and have been following us at Crawley and been making that long journey up there, that'll definitely be rewarded. I think secondly it'll be in terms of how the length of that and how long people have had and been a long-serving fan of Brighton Hove Albion women, and then actually how often, it's one thing having your season ticket, but how often you actually come to those games, and how visible are you and how much do you attend the game. So I think all those three things will be taken into consideration and will be viewed when it comes to giving the priority to season tickets when the new stadium comes. And we want to encourage that fans to come, and we know there's going to be a couple of years timescale on there, so we want encourage fans to want a season ticket when we get the new stadium, because it's going to be fantastic and we're going to really sort of be looking to build something special, but also come and get behind the team now, because we've got a really big season ahead of us, and we had our highest place finish last season, but we want to try and do better, and we can only do that with more and more support. So I think as much as we are gearing up to the new stadium and it's super exciting and we want everyone to get the season tickets for there, we want to encourage as many people as possible to come and get season tickets now at Crawley whilst we're there.
Okay, well, it sounds like an incentive to go along to the Broadfield Stadium. This gentleman here in the second row, I think, was a question. If you do want to stand up and you can, that's great.
Yes, Dario mentioned about keeping a strong squad. I'd like to ask Zoe circumstances of Nikita Paris disappearing.
Yeah, I know Nikita was a fan's favourite, and obviously had a fantastic season for us last season and is a fantastic player, and we wish her all the best for London City, because I think for players like that to come and put their faith in us last season when we signed, we obviously had a really good squad, but to be able to then sign Frank Kirby and Nikita Paris last summer on top of that and be able to bring big sort of high profile names to us was a real sort of turning point for us as a football club to be able to go and compete towards the top four. So of course it's a loss losing Nikita, but I think we also feel like we've recruited really strongly in this window. Nikita will naturally be a loss inside the dressing room and on the pitch, but obviously Nikita has chose to go and sign for London City, and we wish her all the best there. But we're really confident in the squad that we've put together, and there's a lot of like young exciting players, but also a mix of experience in our squad now that we're hopeful that you'll not miss Nikita too much next season.
Okay, all right. The hands are coming up now. You're getting brave now, aren't you? Now we've only got 20 minutes to go. Right, we'll try and race through them if we can. Yeah, we'll work our way across, but I'll try and keep a note of who else is.
It's a question for Dario. Aside from league position, what's your measure for success for Brighton?
I think it's always the performance and how can we apply what we're working on, and again, it's always that one. I think the performance will take care of about 90% usually. The result, sometimes, as I alluded to before, you can create so many big chances, not score. And we had that at times last season where we just had chances, couldn't score, and then we maybe concede one. So it's, we just want to feel like we're improving, keep being there. So it's not just like flash in the pan type thing where we produce a good result against our Chelsea or an Arsenal. We want to be there every single weekend. We want every game to be very tough against us. We want to be consistently there where people hate playing against us. They hate travelling to see us, at our home stadium. So I think that's sort of the evolution that we're after. Same thing with the squad. We just want to develop the players, get them better, and then, so that's it. So for me, it's always, I always measure the performance instead of the result. I always look at it that. Because, like I said about Arsenal, we won, but I wanted to play better. So, and then it's also vice versa, where we've had games where the result hasn't been, but I've been quite happy because on another day, we would win that game. So it's, I try not to get lost too much in the result, but, I think last season what we achieved was fair. I think we deserve that. And now this season, we just want to take the next steps, and it always comes back down to the performance.
Okay,
Thank
next
you.
question. Sorry to keep making everyone keep raising their hand. There was a couple over here. Yep. Is he going to quickly run over there and get you? There we go.
Yeah. I look across at other WSL clubs and I see that they've got women's team specific merchandise. I wondered, maybe Zoe, if there are any plans in the card. You know, I see Liverpool, they've got women's team scarves, and that would be a great thing to see at Broadfield. Are there any plans for that?
It's not been something that I've been across, but I can certainly take that away. And I know Millie is in the room, so something maybe Millie could take away as well.
Yeah. Well, we've got lots of people here from the club, so that if you have got specific questions that we don't know the answer to, we can always try and find out for you. So just behind that lady, there was another person just behind there, the lady in the striped cardigan. Yeah.
This is a question for Zoe. Can you explain why the women have a less contract than the men's do?
Is that in terms of duration, the length of the contracts?
Yes,
you mean?
Why is it that they seem to get a contract that's a lot less in time than the men?
Yeah, I think that's something that's changing. I think probably the last sort of 12, 18 months, you've seen a lot of players, they just sign sort of maybe like 2-year contracts, 2 years plus one. But I think something that is probably the times are changing. I think now you look in the men's game and you see players signing contracts till like 2030 and you're like, wow, that's a long time. And it's only getting more and more. I think the women's game will follow suit as well. I think naturally, I think for a club like ourselves, you can sort of see the trajectory that we've hopefully been on, and we've got a really sort of big vision to be a public vision as well, to be a top 4 WSL team. So naturally, our contract lengths might have been a little bit shorter, because we know that to be able to get to where we want to be, there's going to have to be a high turnover and a high volume in our squad to be able to keep recruiting better players to try and help us achieve that. But I think naturally, just speaking about Brighton in particular, the more we sort of get into like last season finishing 5th, we know that we want to also make sure that we're allowing some consistency in our squad as well, and the turnover of players isn't as high as what it has been, but it's had to be that way for quite a period to be able to get us over the last sort of 2 to 3 years into a position of where we can make sure that we've got the right calibre of player on the pitch to be able to be successful. But I think naturally, historically, the women's game has always been a little bit like that as well, and I'm not fully sure why. But I think that's changing. Like we've started to offer a lot longer contract lengths out now in recent months, and want to try and secure sort of some of the younger players that we've got here. We want them to be at Brighton for years to come, and to really build an affiliation and an identity to the football club.
Maisie, you can knock on the door tomorrow to get your new contract for 17-year contract for the Albion captain. There we go. Let's switch to the right-hand side of the room, just here in the second row.
I want to say thanks to the marketing team and to the recruitment team for all the work they're doing. Women's sports fans bond with players. That's why we sang "You're One of Our Own," because you are. What is the club going to do more? We've loved the behind the scenes and the YouTube stuff. What is the club going to do more to enable us to get to know this new crop of players again?
Yeah, and that's something that's really on the radar at the moment. And I think we naturally last season, when we, like say, Maisie's a fan's favourite, we have Michelle who turned into a fan's favourite. You've naturally then got the names of Fran and Nikita, and I often say to sort of, whether that be commercial partners, marketing team, media team, is that there's a lot more than just sort of those front names and household names that everyone knows, and how do we make them and help them also grow their individual brand and also get to know the fans and the fans to get to know them. And that's only by putting them on the centre stage and the front stage. Is something that we're really aware of, and it's something that we've been discussing. So I think this season, again, the club have been fantastic, and the media team in particular, with our head of media and comms, Paul, is sort of made sure that this season he's give us far more media staff this season to be able to get far more coverage and to be across it, because it's something that we want to be doing. That we want to be letting you know them more, and the more visibility and the more exposure we can give the players, then obviously the better it's going to be for the fans, but also growing the brand and growing our fan base and the trajectory that we're on. It all, we can talk about how important it is to grow what we're trying to do on the pitch, but it's also important that we're continuing to grow as a business off the pitch and trying to help you know that and know the fans as well. So yeah, it's a really good question, and I can assure you that the marketing and media team are working really hard constantly to try and keep ahead of that.
Maisie, the players have been doing a little bit more, haven't they? The cameras have been on you out in Spain and stuff like that, but is it good fun? Do you enjoy doing that sort of stuff and sort of allowing the fans in a little bit as much as you can?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We sometimes just get free rein. Like sometimes we just get given a camera and they're like, go have fun and come back, you know. It is a lot of fun. You probably saw the golf video the other day, and just a lot of random stuff we get up to, because often we train and then we do a bit of gym and then we're free for the rest of the time. So we have to find little fun things to do, especially if we're in and around a hotel, and that's a great time to try and connect with you guys. You know, I'm a football fan as well, and I love seeing content on footballers that I like. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of fun for everybody and we all really enjoy it. So I don't see why we wouldn't do it more.
Great, well there's plenty to look forward to there then. Okay, the gentleman here in the blue t-shirt. That's it, breathe in
Thanks.
everyone.
Yeah, this is a question for Maisie, although it'd be interesting to get Dario and Zoe's thoughts as well. We heard a lot about the sort of aims of the club this year and what would be a success for the club this year, but what would be a successful year for Maisie Symonds?
I mean, I resonated a lot with what Dario said. Is for me, I can't help but want to always win every single game in every single training. I want to win every single game that we go into. So for me to say that I want to get 5th or 4th or 3rd, it's just not true, because I want to win and I want to win the league and I want to win every trophy possible. So for me, it would be incredible to win a trophy with Brighton.
Yeah, it'd certainly be special. Dario, did you want to, you know, obviously Maisie, you made her your captain, so, you know, that's a show of faith initially anyway.
Yeah, it is. Look, for me, even though I might be a little bit selfish, but I think inevitably she'll be one that I expect every international break will be gone. So I think that's the next big aim. Obviously, we still have big aims for her at Brighton and developing her into, you know, one of the best sixers in the world. So that's the aim. That's the standard. So that's the standard she's held at every single day. So she can't slack off, not one bit. So, but you know, that's the thing. We want to try. We sort of ask the players what do they want to do, and then, you know, if they have really, really high goals that they want to achieve, which she does. She wants to be in that England national team. She wants to be, you know, regarded as one of the best players in the country. So then we hold her at that standard every single day. But yeah, I expect that, you know, I'll be without her in the international breaks before we know it. So that's probably my one for her to push for this season, and then also just to see her keep improving, keep dominating games, and be an important member of the squad this season.
A couple of people you will have with you this season, 2 new backroom staff, Dario. Just tell us a bit about why you brought them on board and what they can give to the club this season.
Yeah, look, with Arthur, he's been within the club for a couple of years. He was working on the boys' academy side, so brings a lot of knowledge, knows the club very, very well, knows the people inside the club, so made it much easier. Before we spoke, he just mentioned, you know, that he was interested when he saw that the role was open. He's got a young daughter, so he felt, you know, he wanted to, for her as well, to help the women's game and give her a chance in the future to potentially be a professional footballer. So he's been an excellent addition. And with Ben, I've known him from Melbourne City, really good goalkeeper coach, young, ambitious. So he was also another great addition for us, and they both settled in really, really well, and they'll bring a lot for us this season.
Brilliant. Okay. Any other questions? We've got just in the front row. See who we get to first, and then we'll come straight back to the other one straight after. There we go.
Hi, Dario and Maisie. It was a great season last season. However, as an away fan, I noticed a trend that we always seem to do slightly worse at the bigger stadiums. Of the 7 big stadiums that we went to, we lost 6 times and won once at the Amex. Is this something you noticed, and is there anything you can do to try and change that this season?
Yeah, look upon that. Sometimes it was a little bit the awe of probably like the Emirates, and the first time at the Amex, we're playing United, and we've got a record crowd. We've had this, and it's sort of like it's a nice pressure, but it's like a new pressure. So the message then at halftime was like, just forget what's happening around us. So I think that sort of took the emotion out of us in that first half, and then we weren't sure, and we became a little bit tentative in our play. And then so the message at that half was a couple little tactical things to alter what United were doing, but the biggest thing was just this is us now. This is the attention. we need to accept that pressure, and it's a good pressure to have. Not many teams are privileged to have that. So, then a different team came out in the second half, and it was probably a similar thing at the Emirates where, you had a crazy guy go out and say, we're going to press some man-to-man, we're going to play out, we're going to do all these things, and that was something a little bit new to the girls. So when you come there, 27,000 people, and, so we got a little bit lost on those evenings, but I think, it's natural to have that. I think we need that to experience that. Sometimes, we can sit here and throughout the season we can talk about it, but experience is sometimes the best teacher. You learn, especially in tougher moments. So I think this season it'll be something that the group will look forward to. I know now with the announcement of the Leicester game at the Amex, there was a big buzz about it, a real excitement that we can come here, we can play. We're looking forward to hopefully a few more games being announced, playing in the stadiums, and it's something that we want to be part of those big games. We want to be there. I think we've got a lot more Sky games this season, and that's the privilege of what the girls were able to achieve, the football that they played, that now more eyes are on us. There's more attention, but with that comes more pressure, but pressure is a privilege.
Maisie, have you found that as you become more experienced trying to play the game, not the occasion, how difficult and challenging is it for the younger players?
Yeah, I think it's most of the girls' dreams to play in stadiums like that, so obviously it comes with a little bit more nerves, and I don't think that should be an excuse for us. Like you said, maybe 6 out of 7 of the games, that's not good enough from us. And like you said, maybe it's with experience of playing in those stadiums and getting used to playing with more people coming to games and stuff like that, and playing the game and not maybe thinking too much about being in a massive stadium. But it's something that's going to come more and more, and we're only going to get more and more used to. So it's something that I absolutely love, and I can't wait to do more this season.
Okay, just less than 5 minutes to go. This gentleman with the cap did have his hand up earlier. I did see that. So
just a quick one from me, probably for Zoe. Whilst the main squad was out in Spain, a few of us hardy souls made it along to Woodside Road to watch the academy play. I know there's obviously things to do with safeguarding and things about being able to go along and watch them and things like that, but do you think there's a way that we can communicate to the fans when the public are allowed to attend the academy games? Because we really want to support the next generation coming through as well. And, they've said to us it's useful for them, when they do make it into the WSL, that they're used to people cheering from them and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for going and watching them. I know it was a great scoreline in the end, and I think the girls really appreciate that, and they appreciate the fans going and watching them. And I think the more exposure the players get to that just helps them prepare for when they do come through to the first team. And we've got a really exciting, as you'll see if you've been to watch them, we've got a really exciting academy team, and there's some really good young players coming through, and a couple of them have been training quite regularly with Dario and Maisie and the team. So we're definitely excited about that, and we want the fans to be able to get to know them and also get excited about having been able to chant she's one of our own a little bit more than just Maisie. So I think the more we can give you exposure to that, of course. I think a lot of the games we do play at our training ground, so obviously it's a little bit more difficult to be able to get the fans in there, but I think absolutely when there's cup games on and there's more games where we can allow fans, we can make sure the media team do announce that and let people know how and where they can come and watch them and support them, because they're really grateful, and I know Perry, our academy manager, would be really grateful for that.
We're rapidly heading up towards 8 o'clock, not long to go, but also not long to go before the WSL season gets underway. Dario, do you want to just close things off with a few words about the first game and what you're hoping for and trying to kick off this season in style?
Yeah, look, I think we want to have, again, a positive performance. Ideally, we want to win. We want to start the season on a positive note, get the 3 points, and then we know we have a tough trip then to Manchester, similar to last season. But I think, oh, sorry, miss. Good tackle.
She's good at them, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. So, I think it's just, it is a week to enjoy. I think it is nice. You have that buzz. The season's coming back, and there'll be more promotion. There's more buzz, like tonight with these events, and I think the excitement starts to build. So I think it's, again, it is a privilege that only 12 teams and whatever 20 or so players, 20 something players in each squad. So 200 to 300 players in the country are now feeling, okay, there's the other leagues, but in the WSL. So it is a privilege. It's a nice one to have, to look forward to that game, to wake up on match day, to have preparation for a real game, for points. The competition begins, and for us as well, the excitement that we get to start everything at home, where we finished off on a great note last season. So I think we'll work as normal, but we can definitely feel the excitement, and we know we've got a tough test against Aston Villa, who we finished the season against last season, and we get to go again to start the season. So we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to seeing many people in blue and white supporting us and making it as loud as possible with drums and guitars and everything. So bring as much noise as you can, and I know the girls will really appreciate it. And hopefully we can all celebrate together at full time.
Maybe we can go and see that band as well, can't we? All right, as well. Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. We wish you all the best for the new WSL season to the whole squad and to you, Dario. Thanks very much for listening and to watching this evening. There's still plenty more to come, and I think Zoe's already hinted that there might be another arrival before the transfer deadline shuts, so that's certainly something to look forward to. But it all kicks up on Sunday. You did say that, didn't you? It all kicks off this weekend, midday on Sunday. Do get along to watch if you can. If you can't, obviously there's live commentary available on the BBC Sport website. Loads of content, and we've been hearing as well, and behind-the-scenes stuff on the club's channels as well. But thank you very much indeed. And I think finally we should just say a very big thank you to our panel tonight. Managing Director of Women's Football, Zoe Johnson. Seagulls Head Coach, Dario Vidosic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think we can chant one more time, can't we? The captain, Maisie Symonds.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Good night.
Nice, Maisie.